there are some reports of on this racetrack. Chandler Smith has got of the field. He will restart there, currently running in that 10th spot. Alex, what?
Well, let's talk to the crew chief, Billy Venturini, right up the pit box. The reporter putting an awful lot of speedy dry down there. What exactly did Chandler corner?
He's a little bit animated right now. We obviously first just kind of spun out when we hit it, but you know that. But the Craftsman 828 is really good. Short track car we've had, and a testament of the guys that got on this team. We wrecked this and we threw a lot at it. Didn't qualify well, but we got something good to race tonight. So didn't want to put my tires on there. So he said he didn't flat spot them. So we're gonna go and we're gonna try to move up as far as we can, and then if we don't get another caution, I think we could still drive to the front. We got 100 laps left. It took us less than that at the beginning, so we'll see. It'll be a challenge. How difficult is it to be the crew chief, the psychologist, and even a father figure on the radio? You know, I love Chandler. He's a great kid, and I know the project I'm working here with. He's going to be a superstar in racing, and there's a lot of reason to do it. I got 2 little boys at home, an extension of my family when I come on the road. Billy Venturini, Chandler Smith. Looks like they're going to restart around the 10th position spin over at turn number 1.
Chandler Smith, now 17 years old. Michael Self, the 28-year-old, leading this race. And one of my favorite times is when you get to talk to these drivers.
So Michael Self's our race leader. And Michael, I've got to ask you, you were out to lunch, admittedly, struggled in practice. How has your car responded in this race tonight under the lights?
I got kind of lucky there to get the lead with the 20 spinning right there, but car got a lot. First long run, I figured out the track a little bit right there, and then I think we should that pit stop. Just really haven't had any green flag laps here, so hopefully it was. You know, hopefully that short run we made progress on will translate here, and we can go run some green flag laps.
The same amount of laps in this race as we had at the first run. Caution. I'm curious to know what the car was doing on lap 1 the caution came out that you may think about what you did 50. So what did you have in the car before you made that pit stop? What handling better?
We just went too tight, kind of the same thing, just really snug throughout the center of the corner, and made a change that may have helped that right here, and you know, hopefully that's the right direction to go, and you know, we'll see. It's easy to get loose at this place too, so just trying to find one balance, so hopefully we got it.
This is your first time to this racetrack, Michael. I'm curious to know how you adapted here. Did you seek out the help of your short track veteran teammates and Christian Eckes and the driver you passed the lead here as he spun in turn 1, Chandler Smith? How'd you get adapted here so quickly to this racetrack?
Got a lot of practice laps that first run, I guess. Just kind of moved all over the place, tried a whole bunch of different stuff. Watched some of the other guys, and you know, kind of had to adapt to what my car would let me do right there. And I definitely don't feel like I'm 100% still, so still got a little bit to learn.
Well, you're certainly learning from the front. The only car ahead of you is the pace car. We wish you well in the rest of the race tonight, Michael.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Michael Self already this year as the series points leader, 8 finishes, and that big win at Michigan, very important for him, but a big surprise. He won at Salem and Pensacola, 2 races on the short tracks as part of the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge.
The first 2 short track races of the year. He'd only been winning on big tracks in the ARCA Menards series, but he has 8 wins in total on the K&N Pro Series West. And I asked him if there's a track similar to this one earlier today. He said maybe Colorado National, Erie, Colorado. A smaller 3/8 mile, but that has parabolic banking. This track has less banking, but 2 groups of racing. You can go 3 and 4 group racing if you have to at Colorado National.
Mark McFarland, crew chief on Ty Gibbs. Let's find out his thoughts with Alex.
After leading some laps early on, they find themselves back at second place. So with only fresh right side general tires on the car, Mark, how's the balance of the race car?
Right now, loose. We fired off there a little bit loose, and it kind of stayed that way the whole run. So we made a little swing at it there, but we didn't go enough. So we need a little bit more. Hopefully we can put these 4 general tires on its lay in here, and we can go after them.
Ideally, is there a specific lap you'd like to be able to come in and put those 4 fresh tires on?
I don't know. Here it means a little bit here for sure. You know, late as you can go. Just have to play the game with them and see who can risk it the most.
That's Mark McFarland, crew chief for the second place running car.
Last race, Mark McFarland at Elko Speedway thought he might have had a car to go to Victory Lane. Chase Purdy was in this car he managed last year as the crew chief, and I'm telling you, it was amazing to see that car go up in a ball of flames, as he had a very strong car last year. McFarland on the box tonight for Ty Gibson, the number 18.
You look at when the winning pass has been made here in the ARCA Menards series in these races, and it's very late in the going the past 2 years in the last couple of laps of the event.
Yeah, Enfinger stunk it up in 2014. We won't talk about that. But the last 2 years, there were 3 lead changes in each of the last 2 years in the racing, in the last 4 or 5 laps. It's amazing to know how close it's going to get towards the finish. Yes, we had an overtime restart in one of those, but when it came down to the race and getting in position, Joe Graff was the one that told us early on he had the car to beat, and unfortunately got nudged out of the upper groove to lose that one a year ago.
Christian Eckes, the General Tire Pole Award winner, currently running in the 3rd spot. He was as low, honestly. There is Brett Holmes, second in points, side of him Corey Heim and Sam Mayer, who's been basically super quiet here tonight in that black, white, and yellow number 21 car. Sam Mayer lines up 6th.
The outside roll may have an advantage, Bob. The oil dry has been put down on the inside of turns 1 and 2. We'll see how those cars respond, led by race leader Michael Self, who chose the bottom in car number 25.
The Fast Kids Club onboard camera, Travis Braden. Braden running in 9th. Wow. Racing down there in 3 and 4.
As much as you want to sacrifice, not make any sense on this 3/8 mile racetrack to get below someone, because it'll cost you big time.
Look at Brent Holmes, very groove. Christian Eckes in 3rd there, trying to hold on to that spot as Brent Holmes outside, and as we say, Eckes is trying to go to the inside of time.
The oil dry actually, Bob, is in the middle lane. The leaders are racing below it now.
Corey Heim, he just took Sam Mayer in that corner. That was incredible. But building strong on the outs is a very impressive run for this team. Better and better throughout the season. A great land a couple of weeks ago. Shane Holmes is really getting used to the Holmes was very disappointing run. There was contact right there between the 15 of Eckes and Holmes.
8 straight top 10 finishes into this one, including that 3rd place Chicagoland.
Yellow flag back out. Comes out once again here. Travis Braden coming off of turn number 4. That is the man that sits 3rd in the point standings here. Not having the best day. Travis Braden, the former and 2-time ARCA Series champion.
That's just the 4th caution in the afternoon, and now the question is, okay, we're lap 166. That's a 250 lap race. Is this the moment these teams will bring on 4 tires? They can do 2 more if they wanted to. They don't have to change 4, but I don't think 250 laps on the same lefts is the key you want to follow through here with.
I think everybody is looking at about that lap 200 mark.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that this is a caution where nobody really is going to come down pit road. Maybe 1 or 2, but I don't think that all the teams are thinking, hey, this is the time to come down pit road.
Travis Braden won a race on pit strategy, his first ever ARCA Menards Series race in 2015. He's the last car right now.
Well, he might need to come down pit road after looping off of turn number 4.
Now, I think that'll help the process of if there's a... They might come quick.
You mentioned Jim crew chief for that team, and on the NASCAR ranks for a really former crew chief for Terry Labonte and NASCAR. I don't think that all the teams are thinking, hey, this is the time to come down pit road.
Travis Braden won a race on pit strategy, his first ever ARCA Menards Series race in 2015. He's the last car right now in lead lap.
Well, he might need to come down pit road after looping off of turn number 4.
And if he puts 4 on now, I think that'll help the process of if there's a caution again. They might come quick.
You mentioned Jim Long, his new crew chief for that team, and Jim has been around the NASCAR ranks for a really long time. A former crew chief for Terry Labonte, and they've been around the NASCAR garage area as
won the Rickyard 400 with Ricky Rudd as a crew chief.
Absolutely. So he's a smart guy. And Travis said, man, the chemistry between the both of us has really come into play already. Jim basically arrived at Chicagoland and got the job there, and together they had a very good finish. Now Travis Braden on pit road.
Sam Mayer's on pit road, as is Carson Hocevar. So there are some back half of the top 10 runners to pit road.
So Sam Mayer was in the top 10. So was Carson Hocevar. Remember, Sam Mayer had some pitch strategy that almost led to a victory a few weeks back at Gateway.
Yeah, sixth or no better, and where it turns out where he elected to get those fresh tires, get the track position, and became a contender until the third turn on the last lap. Sam Mayer was going to look for a winner for the first time in the ARCA Menards Series, and ended up third.
And he has not forgotten about that, by the way. Talked to him a little bit here today, and he said, hey, man, if I'm in that situation again, I'm going to remember what he believes that Ty did to him. So Sam Mayer, Ty Gibbs, two of the rising young stars in our sport, and already a budding rivalry that we'll see for many years to come.
Sam Mayer turned 16 on June 26th. So, you know, he's the same age finally as Ty Gibbs at 16.
We're here on a Saturday night. Well, we'll be in Iowa Speedway next Friday night, July 19th. The Fans with Benefits 150. You can watch it live on MAV TV at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Plenty of racing across the board on MAV TV, including the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, July 20th at 9 a.m. Spring Creek Motorsports Park in Minnesota, just down the road from here a little bit. That'll be awfully exciting for sure. And this is going to be exciting, too, at the end of this race. I'm wondering what the strategy is going to be going on. There's a lot of drivers out there right now that are on the lead lap. Haley Deegan is running 7th. Carson Hocevar just made a pit stop. Joe Graf Jr. as well back on the lead lap in that 77.
And we're going to watch this young driver with 4 fresh General tires. He got up to the 6th position at one point in the race. Marty Linden, the crew chief for him, for MDM last year, very strong run. Went on to run very well with those drivers in that camp. Now we're helping out Sam Mayer wherever he goes in this series with GMS Racing and in the K&N Pro Series East.
What can you tell us, Alex?
Well, think about it, guys, with what, only about 79 or so laps left as we still work under caution. Sam Mayer and Travis Braden, both on the lead lap, took 4 fresh General tires. If this race goes green the rest of the way, they're going to be in prime position to drive through the field rather easily and potentially steal a win here. Now, the rest of the front runners, they're going to be begging for a caution around lap 200, 210, so they can come in and put on those 4 fresh tires. But as it sits right now, I'd be paying special attention to both Sam Mayer and Travis Braden.
I think you're right, Alex. Strategy is going to be a big factor in this race. We'll see Sam Mayer, and he might not even try to charge to the front. He might try to save those tires because he knows everybody in front of him is most likely going to pit if we get another caution later on in this race.
And he's lining up 9th on the lead lap, lining up 9th in this restart order. He can tell very quickly how hard he has to push it because those worn tires will come back to him in a big way in 10 to 20 laps after this green flag restart.
I think we need to keep an eye on that 23 of Brett Holmes. Very strong on the last restart. Let's see what he can do lining up in that 3rd spot. It's Michael Self and Ty Gibbs leading the field back to the green. Ty Gibbs not giving up whatsoever. Look at him poke out in front of the Sinclair number 25. Ty Gibbs back to the lead here at Elko.
Putting the left of the oil dry, no big deal for the 18 of Ty Gibbs.
Look at that battle behind that. Incredible. 3rd on back. Everybody seeking some better position on the racetrack. Almost contact there. I thought Brett Holmes was going to slide up that racetrack. Right now, Brett Holmes is the biggest mover in this race, up 6 spots from his original starting spot. But here comes Chandler Smith.
Boy, Christian Eckes got right down to the bottom in front of Holmes, and that opened the door briefly for Chandler Smith. And now the 15 of Eckes has to stay in line to give the upper room to his teammate in the 20.
Chandler Smith, remember that spin. There was fluid on the racetrack. In turn number 1, he spun out from the lead, had to go to the rear, and now charging his way back to the front. Chandler Smith now up to third, and a bottleneck right behind him with Christian Eckes, his teammate Brett Holmes and Corey Heim. Oh, contact between Heim and Brett Holmes down there in the corner.
Brett took all the holdbacks ready to get that car righted. Another hammer tap by the 22 of Heim.
Heim knows that he's got Travis Braden breathing down his neck. Now Heim to the inside of Brett Holmes. And Travis Braden with those fresh tires looks to be very fast.
To be on about 100% when everybody else is on 85 in a video game now for Braden with those fresh general tires.
But the yellow comes out once again here for an incident in between turns 3 and 4. Joe Graff Jr. among the cars involved in this one. I believe I see the number 7 of Eric Caudell as well.
5th caution of the evening. This is getting good, Bob. This is not over by any means. They're going to double foul restart through the finish of this one.
Alex Hayden, what do you got?
I expect all these other front runners to come down right now, put on these 4 fresh General tires. Sticker tires mean everything here. These crew chiefs, I believe, realize that cautions may become fewer and far between the more this race goes on. I expect pit road to be very busy.
Well, Jim, let me ask you this question. Do you think that these teams that are up front with the older rubber, do you think their hand was forced a little bit by Sam Mayer, Travis Braden, Carson Hocevar coming down pit road because they didn't want that gap in rubber too much? So do you think that forced their hand a little bit?
I think it did for sure. I think Braden in his charge and how good he was able to maneuver inside and outside in the brief time we saw on the onboard, the Fast Kids Club onboard for the 27 of Braden, it certainly has. Keep in mind, lead lap cars that did not pit restart first. Then the cars that are lead lap that did pit will start second in the groupings prior to lap down cars. So this is not a huge disadvantage. Say if the 18 car of Gibbs comes out first, he'll start no worse than 4th on this restart, I believe, with those 3 cars that pitted earlier staying on the racetrack.
Ty Gibbs will have to come all the way down pit road.
Mayer and Hocevar are also pitting again.
Wow, now that is interesting. They must not have liked their race cars, but Ty Gibbs, a slow pace there. Keep an eye on the 22. Very fast pit stop last time. Down to Alex.
Here comes Gibbs. He'll hit his marks perfectly. They'll go to the right side and put those fresh General tires on first. This Monster Energy Toyota has been good as far as the balance goes. They got off just a bit before they made that 2-tire change earlier in the race. Let's see if the pit crew can get their job done now. It's a race down here on pit lane. It'll be Mayer getting off the pit lane first, but it's going to be a drag race. Looks like Christian Eckes and Brett Holmes. Yeah, it's too close to call there, guys.
That was interesting. They came off pit road 3 wide between Chandler Smith, Ty Gibbs, and now they're battling right here under caution to get out in front of each other. And Christian Eckes is trying to work his way around some people as well. So a lot of anxious young race car drivers right there.
ARCA has officials at the end of pit road. There's actually a line at the exit of pit lane leading back out of the racetrack outside of turn number 2. It's a white painted line right by the stop and go, gentlemen. Right there, we see it across the pit road area. So that's the line they'll figure out and get those cars in the right order. One thing I did see out the window was that Sam Mayer did an adjustment only, and Carson Hocevar went with 2 right side tires.
Travis Braden did not pit. So let's take a look at the replay coming off of pit road here. There's Sam Mayer. He gets out in the 21 ahead of the field. But watch this bottleneck right here. We'll be 3 wide between Chandler Smith, Ty Gibbs, and Michael Self. Wow. That was some tight quartered pit road racing here at Elko.
One more look here. Chandler Smith in the first pit stall. Here's Sam Mayer creeping out, and now the drag race of everybody behind him. The hungry bunch that have 4 fresh Generals came piling up 3 wide behind him. ARCA officials have the job now to determine who indeed came out of the pits in what order.
And you can see the spirit of some of those young drivers, even though ARCA will put the drivers in the position as they ran coming off of pit road. They were battling amongst themselves, especially Ty Gibbs and Chandler Smith, trying to fight for their position. But it appears as though that ARCA officials have made the ruling that the 18 came out ahead of the 20 on pit road. But let's take a look one more time as they came off of pit road here during a very crucial pit stop sequence. Mayer is definitely out in front of everybody, but then everyone else, look at even the 15 and the 23 of Eckes and Brett Holmes right there.
Mayer was slow
At
to
the
get to
line.
the line. Yes,
He
here we
was.
go.
He
Yep,
slowed
15,
down.
23. Drag race for the 20 and 18. Don't know which one was ahead there by this angle.
I would say that it appeared as though to me that Ty Gibbs was just ahead of the 20 car. But the interesting thing that kind of caused a lot of that is Sam Mayer slowed up a little bit. Brett Holmes almost just, nailed him in the back end of that car.
We got work from the pit area for Sam Mayer. He went up 3 up on the track bar and a wedge adjustment. Marty Lindley, the crew chief, trying to fix a tight condition for Mayer. So as he got his car on pit road, just an adjustment for Mayer. When he came out of pit road, he was not going 20 miles an hour. He's going less than the speed limit as the others were drag racing to the line to get their position here.
This restart might be the restart of the race. What will happen here, because the top 2 drivers here with some older rubber by just a handful of laps or so, everybody else with fresh rubber on back. Travis Braden, the control car, as the leader of this race. On board with Travis Braden. He gets that lead, but Mayer not giving up on the inside. Look at them behind that. Almost went 3 wide.
14-lap older tires for Braden and the 21 of Sam Mayer versus the, I want to say gaggle, but I think there's a better word. It's a swarm. Look at them coming too wide and hard to these leaders.
Yeah, everybody's got to be worried about that 20 car right now, especially the top 2 in this race, Travis Braden and Sam Mayer, because Chandler Smith has been able to put that car wherever he has wanted. Here comes Sam Mayer to the inside of Travis Braden, side by side in turns 3 and 4. Mayer's got a very good car, but the momentum for Travis Braden paid off there. Will it continue to pay off?
Great, clean racing. Sam Mayer has been punching out of the lead for no less than 4 different race wins in the last year and a half. He said, I don't race that way. I'm not going to race somebody that way. I'll race him clean. And Mayer gets the lead this time, or does he? Yes.
Barely at the line over Travis Braden. Now Travis Braden's got to worry. Hey, I might need to get back into second, get back in line behind that 21. And I believe that's what he's trying to do right now. He's going to try to close the gap, but will he be able to get in front of the 20? He does.
Mayer gets cleared by Lauren Renier, his spotter and driver's edge development leader, working with Sam Mayer, this young 16-year-old driver in his first run at our ARCA Menards Series Short Track Championship. He's not supposed to race all the Sioux Chief short track races, but I'd love to see him here more often and perhaps even full-time next year.
Chandler Smith to the inside of Travis Braden. This just is a matter of time, honestly. Chandler Smith will work his way by that matrix steer number 27. And there he goes up to second. Now the rear view mirror on Sam Mayer is going to be filled with that Craftsman number 20.
That was a bump on
little
breaking
bump.
away out of shape. It was the 15 of Christian Eckes saying, hello, coming through.
You can almost feel it as we went on board. And a payback right there from Travis Braden to Christian Eckes.
Told you it'd be a good short track race.
Travis Braden not happy at all. Those drivers 3rd and 4th in the point standing.
Holmes got in the fence. Got drifted up in the 27. They made contact there.
And look at the damage on the back end of the 27 machine. That rear bumper cover just flying in the wind ever so slightly. Brett Holmes trying to knock it off of him.
Corey Heim trying to knock Travis Braden in the next county. In the 22.
Alex, what do you know?
Well, Brett Holmes just bounced off the fence right at the start-finish line. Did not lift going into turn number 1. Got in the back of Travis Braden. You mentioned the debris of the back bumper cover on Braden's car still flying in the breeze. But right now, these drivers know they got fresher tires and better handling race cars. They're doing whatever it takes here at Elko.
Look at this. Michael Self and Corey Heim going at it. And a battle for 5th. Heim looking good on the outside now with 50 laps to go.
Corey Heim has really been impressive in his short track runs in the ARCA Menards Series this year. Signed on to do a handful. As a matter of fact, he wanted to get more races in, but he's just not old enough. He's going to run the second Pompano because he'll have a birthday. Matter of fact, he just had a birthday.
Yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag will change the complexion of this race once again. Travis Braden, you take a look at the rear bumper cover on that machine about to fly off. Man, that was interesting racing there. Nobody holding anything back here now with under 50 to go. 6th caution of the evening.
With as precarious as that car is being held on literally by a couple of rivets, it makes sense now to call the caution rather than have that bumper become part of another bigger caution, taking out multiple cars if it landed on the racetrack.
Let's take a look at this. Watch. Going into the corner here.
Travis bumper Meckus right there.
Boom.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is
That's
the
a spin actually
yes.
right there.
So he got spun out to cause the caution. It wasn't the bumper debris.
There you go. So now we know. Great look right there from our onboard camera. So Travis Braden is going to have to come down pit road. A lot of contact out there, and I don't think it's over by any means.
No, they're just not able to give inches right now. They've got to take feet. This is the point in the race. We're under 50 to go. This track is so fast. 14.5-second laps is what we've been running on a pace, up to about 15.5-second laps under used tire conditions. We've had a couple of short spurts since they put on those Ford General tires. This is going to be fun to watch. Speeds are at a premium. Those restart means everything, and I think Mayer, by looking things are over, I think he's taking an eyeball at the top group.
Travis Braden, Brett Holmes, both of those drivers in the top 10 are on pit road right now, and you can see the rear bumper cover has been officially torn off that race car. The team now servicing the right side of the 27.
With the tires they have in the pits, they can put tires back on. This is Brett Holmes. You see the left front damage. The right side is also a concern, right, Alex?
Yeah, it is, and they're checking the latches that hold that front bumper cover on, putting some of that bear bond on that high-speed tape just to try to make sure, because he gave a pretty good shot to the caboose of Travis Braden. As a matter of fact, he's just launched away from his pit box to chase Travis Braden again off the pit lane.
Keep the nose clean. Now's the time to see what's left. Travis Braden doesn't have a bumper to bump, so now he's got to work his own way, and we see the damage on the 23 of Holmes, a very fast race car. But he literally got forced up into the wall, I want to say, is how he made contact. There just wasn't not enough room, and as he came off the wall, he got in that bumper cover of Braden on the tail there, heading into turn 1.
That was one of the keys to your race here tonight. And the final 45 laps of this one, we are going to see people trading paint. We're going to see a lot of bump and runs, everybody fighting for every square inch on this racetrack.
Top 5 cars, Bob, the bumpers look brand new. That may play a factor in how this plays out as well.
Here's what happened here. The crew went around to the left side of Travis Braden's car. We are told that the lug nuts fell off the tire. What happened is when they went around to the left side, the left rear tire changer hit a couple of lug nuts. Travis pulled off. Those lug nuts fell off. I saw that momentarily just when he pulled off a pit road just recently, but now they have that car squared away before we go back to green flag.
Travis will stay on the lead lap with that extra run down pit road here. Brett Holmes still trying to say, Travis, you got my way. You put me in the wall. I want to get you back. Okay, I'm going to beat you out of the pit road this time.
It's not over. Not over whatsoever. One to go until we get back to racing here at Elko Speedway with the ARCA Menards series. Sam Mayer is still the leader. He chooses the outside groove on this one. Chandler Smith in that 20, definitely the car to beat here today. Can Mayer hold him off? Chandler Smith has the fresher tires.
This could be the difference maker here. Mayer picking the outside. Chandler Smith did some work on the bottom to get in position here to get into second on this restart. On the bottom comes Smith on this restart.
Mayer tries to pinch him down to the bottom. Will the 20 get the run up off the corner? Travis Braden in the back of the field. Chandler Smith able to lead this lap here. Chandler Smith back to the front here at Elko Speedway. Battle for third. Watch Ty Gibbs in the 18. He's got it. He's going to now set his sights on Mayer in that 21. Remember, they were not happy with each other at Gateway a few weeks back. Yellow flag back out here at Elko. And I see Eric Caudell spun on the backstretch. He brings out the second caution of the night here for that team.
7th overall in the race, Bob.
So Smith, Mayer, Gibbs, Eckes, and Self, your top 5. 3 Venturini Motorsports cars in the top 5. Honestly, all 4 of them in the top 7 as Haley Deegan runs in that 7th spot.
So last restart, 16-year-old Sam Mayer on the outside, 17-year-old Chandler Smith on the inside. They actually share a birthday 1 year apart. So they just had birthdays. Now they're getting that boat mindset saying, I want to make this my career. I'm on the fast track. I've got Chevy behind me. I've got Toyota behind me. That pressure comes to fore on every one of these restarts. Chandler got a great run on the bottom. Sam could not clear him and then got to lead a lap later. We'll see what Chandler does here. Chandler, if I'm Chandler, I'm going to take the bottom.
Haley Deegan in that 55, top 10 here, looking for a good run. Deegan was running really well in Madison, Wisconsin, and then had engine difficulties. So looking to her best finish here in her only few ARCA starts so far.
She said, I'm here to learn. I've only got 6 races in the ARCA Menards series. I've already had a top 10 finish. I need a top 5. That's my next goal before you can talk about winning a race as she goes full-time after the K&N Pro Series West Championship, where she's second in points right now.
Carson Hocevar was the subject of our Bounty Rookie Spotlight, and right now he's currently running in the 8th spot. Hocevar hasn't been the same since the beginning of the race. We thought after that pit stop that he did, out of sequence to most of the drivers, pitted at the same time that Sam Mayer and Travis Braden did a while ago. We thought he'd be coming through the field, but that Mike Bursley-led team has not been completely good here today at Elko.
They did do a test here. They came up here right after the Michigan Speedway race. They had a great successful day there, and they did very few changes. Although the car was on the scales, I would say, as much time today as it was on the racetrack in the afternoon practice session for Hocevar and the Mike Bursley-led team.
Looking at those inside the top 10 as we're about to go double file and go back to green flag
Chandler
racing.
picks the outside.
Interesting move there. I got my eye on that guy back in the yellow car right there. Joe Graff Jr. as well, riding in 9th. We know he likes the end of races, likes to rough things up just a little bit, but it's been a difficult ride for that Eat Sleep race team. That's the MyFace onboard camera for Joe Graff Jr.
And the car out of him, Haley Deegan, they got together at Toledo Speedway, did Graff and Deegan early in the race. They were racing for about 6th position on the racetrack, and tempers flared there. So we'll see how they can handle things as they'll restart in the 8th and 9th position.
Let's find out what happens on the restart. Mayer and Smith to the green. Chandler Smith made it look easy. Chandler Smith in the lead. Here comes his teammate Christian Eckes on the outside in the JBL number 15. Can Mayer hold him off? Ty Gibbs on the inside might be bottlenecked a little bit back there behind the 21.
2 second-place finishes for Christian Eckes in the last 2 Elko Speedway races. I believe he has the hunger and thirst to do better than that tonight. He's on the outside of the 21, looking for that 2nd spot. So there's only 1 car to pass here. Lap 218 now we're working here in this 250 lapper.
Contact between Mayer and Eckes in turn number 2. Eckes has got a good car. I don't know if it's as good as his teammate. I believe, though, if we get a long green flag run, you're going to have to watch out for that 18 of Ty Gibbs.
As quickly as he made his way to the door of the 21 of Sam Mayer, the 18, Ty Gibbs, might have the fastest car on the track right now. He put it on the outside and kept it there.
Look at Ty Gibbs. He tried to go 3 wide momentarily there. Ty Gibbs now up to 3rd and setting his sights on the 2nd place running Christian Eckes.
Gibbs led this race for 20-some laps. We're on lap 71 after taking the lead from Eckes, who led us to the green flag tonight after winning the General Tire pole. Now let's we're back at it.
If this goes green the rest of the way, I can almost guarantee you that Ty Gibbs will be right there with Chandler Smith. 30 laps to go. Chandler Smith so strong. But that 18 has been the best on the long runs here today.
And he's able to keep it right down on the curbing on the exit of turn number 2. That's a vital point there to get that launch off the backstretch.
Here comes Hocevar to the inside of Corey Heim. Battle for 6th. Corey Heim trying to hold on in that Carbon Racing Solutions number 22. But Hocevar showing some late race strength.
And Heim made some moves on the outside lane. Looks like that car may have evened off a little bit as the tires have now started to wear.
You see that little love tap down there in the corner? He's saying, hey, don't cut me off. If I'm there, give me the lane, buddy.
Qualifying, I need somewhere to run.
Another tap right there. Battle for 2nd now, starting to heat up. Ty Gibbs all over the back bumper of Eckes. Looking for one mistake is Ty Gibbs. from that 15 car. That mistake might come in the form of slowing up a little bit too much, and a bump from the 18 of Gibbs. Just 16 years old is Ty Gibbs, and he got a little loose coming off the corner now with 25 to go.
One of the very few wiggles I've seen in the 18 of Ty Gibbs, on the gas as soon as he wanted to be, perhaps even sooner than he should have been, spinning the tires off that corner.
By the way, Chandler Smith has already opened up a nearly 2-second advantage on second and third place running Eckes and Ty Gibbs. Michael Self now battling with the 21. A little punch right there from the 25 to the 21. Michael Self, the point leader, trying to get in that 4th spot.
The Mayor's doing a nice job on the outside. He has 14-lap older tires. A good run there. A little bit skating up for both of those cars trying to hold on position.
Now, Michael Self's car is not turning in the center of the corner. He told you that earlier when you spoke to him on the in-car radio. So Michael Self, it's hard to pull off a move on the inside of another competitor if your car is not turning well.
They're battling a tight condition until the most recent pit stop where he came down pit road on lap 166. Came back in again for adjustment a little bit later on.
Brett Holmes second in the point standings, 8th on the racetrack. So if they were to finish right now, he'd be 3 spots behind Michael Self and lose ground in the championship chase.
See some sparks off the front, dragging front balance on the 23 of Brett Holmes in the quarter entry there. A little bit of bumping and banging, got that fiberglass all loosened up on that composite body on the nose of the 23. Joe Graff Jr. now is who we're riding on board with, running in the 9th position. At one point, he was 2 laps down in the race in the long green flag run at the outset. Nice job on recovery for this team, led by Chad Bryant on the pit box.
And look at this, by the way. DeSavino for that Kevin Sawinski-led team, back on the lead lap, first ARCA start, just outside the top 10 in the 11th spot for that Virginia kid.
I asked his crew chief, Jamie Jones, what would be a win tonight for you? What is your expectation? He said, I don't have an expectation for our driver, but I want to give him the best car I can. Austin Terrio, his driver coach tonight, and manager, was standing in the same conversation. He said, I want him to complete as many laps as possible. We want to coach him through what we can say is something to build on in his first ARCA Menards Series start.
Chandler Smith, that advantage over second place running Christian Eckes, now stands at 2.6 seconds. That's a huge amount here with 15 laps to go.
15-second laps too, Bob. If Christian can find another way to find more speed, it'll take a long time to track down our leaders at the start-finish line now, and these guys are doing a great battle here. Brett Holmes made a number of pit stops under the most recent caution.
A little rub. Battle for 8th between Holmes and Joe Graff Jr. And Graff used his right front fender on the left rear quarter panel of Brett Holmes to get up underneath. And he doors him in turn number 4.
Holmes second in points, Graff 5th in points, trying to stay relevant in this championship hunt. Graff needs a good run here. But Brett Holmes has been so strong. Travis Braden's been so consistent this year. Their top 10 runs are making it harder for guys like Graff to get an advantage. And I know Joe Graff thought this race he circled on his calendar at the outset saying, I needed to do well on what was my home track when I was growing up racing Legends cars.
Started out in the Bandolero ranks here at Elko Speedway did Joe Graff Jr. And now, as we approach 10 laps to go, everybody behind Chandler Smith is just crying for a caution. They want one more shot at Chandler Smith, but they know they're not going to catch him. Chandler Smith now with a 3-second advantage over Christian Eckes, who appears honestly to be holding up Ty Gibbs ever so slightly.
Gibbs had a faster lap that time than Eckes. Now he goes to the inside here. Not enough. Just a tap there, Bob.
More taps right there. Coming off of turn number 2. Gibbs is there. In a lap or two, I believe he's going to be able to work his way by Christian Eckes. Eckes, remember, 4th in points, missed that race at Salem, 85 points out of the lead. He's ahead of Michael Self, the point leader, so he would gain ground. Every position counts. Kevin Reed, his crew chief, told me today they think they could still win this championship without the points from Salem when he became ill and was not able to start that race car.
Look at Ty Gibbs trying to do everything he can to stay in the gas, but stay off the cars on the outside lines.
I'm impressed with Christian Eckes right there. Little bump right there as well from Ty Gibbs. Gibbs back to the inside with 6 laps to go.
That was a manly move there, going around a lap car into turn 3, tapping Eckes mid-corner, and now pulling underneath them at the exit of turn 4. Nice job by Ty Gibbs in the black 18.
Gibbs takes him way up the racetrack that time to try to get the advantage, but Eckes is not giving up with 5 laps to go. What a battle for second. Sam Mayer does not know which lane to take in the 21.
Better
Michael Self.
He's going to
yeah, he might pick one for him. You were thinking the exact same thing I was. Now Eckes leaning on Gibbs. Gibbs on the outside now. Ty Gibbs going the hard way around this racetrack. The 16-year-old noses out in front of Eckes with just 2 laps to go. This time by at the stripe. Ty Gibbs now in second.
Sam Mayer lost some grip off of turn 2. Let's see if that gives an advantage to the 25 itself. He'll dig in there. Every position's 5 points in the rundown.
Chandler Smith, the now 17-year-old driver out of Talking Rock, Georgia. The white flag is out for him.
As soon as he hits turn 3, if something catastrophic goes along, as long as he can keep that car righted, it's Smith's race to win.
It's done. It's done. Chandler Smith now with a hat trick of wins in the ARCA Menards Series with this victory here at Elko.
Ty Gibbs gets second.
Wow. That was contact between Christian Eckes and I believe Michael Self battling for position coming to the checkered flag. Remember, championship implications for them.
Self is credited with a 4th place finish. Eckes 11th. At the line after the spin off of turn 4 come to the checkers.
That was a little bit interesting there as donuts for Chandler Smith. 3rd victory of the season.
3rd race where he's led the most laps and won this year, Bob.
Chandler Smith, his dad Mike with him here today. He will celebrate in Victory Lane at Elko Speedway. Remember, led a ton of laps last year, but had some trouble. Today, it pays off for him here at Elko. The Menards 250 for Elko Speedway. We love coming to this racetrack, and the ARCA Menards Series did not disappoint. Chandler Smith with the victory. Let's take a look at the results here from this 3/8 of a mile racetrack. Ty Gibbs in second. Sam Mayer out of Wisconsin holds on to 3rd. Michael Self in 4th. Corey Heim rounds out that top 5. And by the way, the driver you don't see here is Christian Eckes. There was apparent contact on the last lap in the final corner. We believe it was from Christian Eckes and Michael Self, teammates down there. Christian Eckes winds up in 11th, and that has championship implications. Let's take a look at the replay on what happened here between the 25 and the 15. Watch Michael Self goes in there and just nails the 15 in the left rear quarter panel.
Sailed into turn 3. Eckes looked like he may have been entering the corner a bit higher to open that door. Don't know how wide that door was, but Eckes, you could see with that large launch into the 3rd corner, was going to the bottom, and maybe he was thinking about bouncing on the 15, not spinning him out.
You got to look at different perspectives, too. I mean, when you go in that deep in the corner, you know your car is going to slide up a little bit. Obvious contact there, and we thought Christian Eckes was a little bit mad. I believe his team calmed him down.
And Eckes has already pulled off the racetrack, out of the joint. He's back in his pit area.
Chandler Smith going to be climbing out victorious for the 3rd time this year in the ARCA Menards Series competition. Alex Hayden standing by.
Ice water being thrown around. Chandler Smith with a great run tonight. Chandler, congratulations, a winner here at Elko Speedway, but it didn't come easy. Walk us through the way this night turned out for you.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit in practice, but we got this Craftsman 828 Logistics Toyota Camry sitting right here in the race. I knew we were going to be really good after I felt how cool the track started getting after qualifying. So hats off to Billy, hats off to the whole pit crew. This is definitely redemption from Gateway and definitely from last year as well.
So, with that being said, as you've got the ceremonial kiss coming in from Bill Venturini, that's the Italian congratulatory kiss there from Bill Venturini. So, the car looks so good, whether it be inside lane or outside lane. How much did you guys have to change on this chassis throughout the race?
Yeah, we actually didn't do much, to be completely honest. The only thing we ever did was just put a little more bite into it, what I call Gibbs and Eckes at the end of that run, the first ever run when I got the lead. It's just I noticed Gibbs had a little more bite halfway down the straightaway, so I told him that. We got definitely a little better there. So hats off to Billy, hats off to all these guys. It's going to be a heck of a night.
Enjoy this one. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Chandler Smith in victory lane at Elko.
Chandler Smith is just flat out good. 2 wins last year, now 3 wins this year, 5 overall. Chandler Smith victorious here at Elko. The ARCA Menards Series at Elko Speedway, a tradition here. The conclusion of this race, it's done. Chandler Smith with the victory. Ty Gibbs, his 4th runner-up finish this year in ARCA competition. Alex is with him.
Yeah, and second place finish for the 4th time this year. Not exactly the result you were looking for tonight, Ty, but how much did the car change on you? Because early on the car was very good, and it seemed to midpoint in the race struggle just a bit.
Yeah, our car got a little bit looser during the race, and and then cautions came after we got the tires. We made a bad stop, and then we got stuck behind people. It was hard for them to restart. They're on lower tires, and that kind of screwed us there. But I think we had a shot to win, and I had fun. And Monster Energy and everybody, thanks for helping me. And my guys did a really good job, and they had a really fast car. So we'll move on to Iowa next weekend.
That's Ty Gibbs, second place finish for the 4th time here in 2019.
Ty Gibbs pretty darn good, but that man, Chandler Smith, I talk about a man, he's 17 years old, and he's actually posing for pictures down there with his team, Billy Venturini, to his right, and Billy's wife, Emily, right there, celebrating with the Venturinis on the left side of Chandler Smith as well. Look at them, all smiles here at Elko. They know that they had a chance here last year, had some difficulty, and Chandler talked about it in that winning interview right there, that today was kind of redeeming for him. Let's go down to Alex Hayden.
Well, it's Michael Self, a 4th place finish here after a hard 250 laps at Elko Speedway. Well, let's start with the way this race unfolded for you. You guys say, you as the driver say you're not really a short track expert, but you always seem to be around at the end. How was tonight's race for you?
Yeah, up and down. I mean, it definitely took me a long time to figure this track out, and that long first run helped. I mean, we had a pretty good long run car right there, and I got a lot of laps to log and move around and kind of figure this place out. And it's cool that we were able to get up there and lead some laps. I thought we were really good at that point, but unfortunately, we lost a bunch of spots on our second pit stop, and so that was kind of frustrating and put us way back. And then restarting on the bottom here is really difficult. It's really easy to just get kind of stuck down there and get pinched down and pinched down. So that definitely didn't help towards the end there, but definitely an eventful race here.
So the closing laps appeared to be some contact between you and Christian Eckes. What was the contact, and walk us through that incident there in the closing laps?
Just stupidity and greedy on my part. I mean, look, Christian's probably my best friend here at the racetrack. He's the last guy that I want to have contact with, and there's no excuse. I mean, I just drove in really, really hard, and I thought he might be going to the middle. It was kind of open, but there's no excuse. I mean, there's no excuse for what I did, and I feel like an ass. I just feel horrible, man. I just feel absolutely terrible. So before I even think about the next race, I want to go and talk to Christian and just apologize again, because he ran a really good race tonight and always races me as clean as anybody out here, and love the kid like a brother, and I just feel bad about it. But thanks to everyone for tuning in tonight. Thanks General Tire for providing us a good product, and for being on the cars, and for support of this series. And Menards, obviously this is a big race for them, and cool to race up here in their neck of the woods.
Great to have Michael Self back in the top 5, and even bigger for him to stand up and man up to the contact with Christian Eckes.
You can feel the emotion from Michael Self, but that had big championship implications, that contact from Michael to Christian Eckes.
Unofficially a 30-point bump. That's how many points Eckes lost in that final corner.
That might be the difference in the championship. Still plenty of time to go here this year in the ARCA Menards Series.
The ARCA Menards Series is brought to you by Extreme Cleaners, tough on grime, safe on the environment. Richmond Water Heaters, the water heater experts. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
You want drama? We had it here tonight. Chandler Smith spun out of the lead with fluid on the racetrack, battled back to capture his third victory of the season, and he is a part-time competitor here in the ARCA Menards Series.
Adding to his Valvoline lap leader total, that's the 8th win this year for Venturini Motorsports in 13 races.
Let's take a look at the Lucas Oil race recap of this 250-lap event for the ARCA Menards Series here at Elko. Christian Eckes' second consecutive time he has won the General Tire Pole Award at Elko. But Ty Gibbs was awfully strong early in that 18.
He tried on the outside and then made it work on lap 71 to take the lead on the bottom.
Chandler Smith charging from the rear. He started deep in the top 10, picked off that second spot, and then honestly right here, look at that pick that Ty Gibbs used with Travis Braden. Gibbs was able to keep the lead there, but not for long whatsoever, because Chandler Smith was so good. No matter where he put his race car, he went to the bottom and went right by Ty Gibbs.
Great move on behalf of Chandler Smith. He then set his sights forward, tipped that mirror up and went ahead and led a bunch of laps until this happened, Bob.
The spin out of the lead for Chandler Smith had to go to the rear of the field. Plenty of exciting racing throughout this one. The 20, though, of Chandler Smith able to get back to the front of the field and dominate the later portions of this 250-lap race. The Sioux Chief short track point standings after this race, Chandler Smith continues to lead.
Ty gives another strong run, hanging top in there, just 70 points back. They use race points only to tabulate these top 5 runners. Tied for 4th, Holmes and Hocevar.
One can only wonder what Christian Eckes is thinking after that contact from Michael Self in turn 3 on the final lap. That was a big change in the championship complexion for the remainder of this year. Michael Self still the points leader heading into next week at Iowa Speedway.
We tried to track him down before this race ended.
A great night here at Elko.
Action abound. Pit stop strategy had a huge portion of what played out, but we saw the fastest car, when it counted, go to victory lane even after this spin while leading.
For Alex Hayden, Jim Trado, and everybody at Lucas Oil Production Studios, I'm Bob Diller saying thanks so much for watching. We saw plenty of drama here at Elko. A big congratulations to Chandler Smith out of Georgia.